And we had Narok districts and Kajiado districts. Narok had their own park called Masai Mara, and Kajiado had Masai Amboseli Game Reserve. Along the way, Amboseli changed its status to a national park under circumstances that no records can verify what happened. In the current transitions, there is no documentation, there is no title deed, there is nothing to show Amboseli is a national park. As a young person then, I had witnessed Amboseli as ours, halfway ours, and not ours at all. When we were young boys around here, because you know I come from this place, we used to graze our cows in the national park. We used to water our cows there. It will be said in some days, oh, you can't get to the park today because Morans have killed a lion or a buffalo. Until all of a sudden a wall came and there was no way for the true owners of Amboseli, the Maasai people, to access this park. Honorable members, as we share accolades, as we give gratitude to many people who merit it, and we are thankful for the recognition you have given us as your governors, it is fitting for me to report to this honorable house that were it not for the concurrence of President William Ruto, this injustice would not have been corrected. It is in that regard, with the permission of the Speaker, that I request all of us to be standing to give William Ruto a standing ovation. Thank you, honorable members. As we celebrate the many people who voiced their concern, gave their resistance, give their support for the return of Amboseli, we will continue as a Maa Nation to celebrate William Ruto for the courage to defy voices, some of them globally influential, that Kajiado County cannot manage Amboseli National Park, and therefore it will be retrogressive to give the park to the county government. I want to challenge this honorable House, honorable Speaker, that is incumbent upon you to give us befitting legislation to prove the naysayers that we, the indigenous people, the Maa people, the people of Kajiado, are able to transform Amboseli to what it should rightly be. I am looking forward to that legislation, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say, as the executive, we will implement the legislation to the letter because we are determined to make Amboseli the envy of many parks in this country, Kenya. In the informal discussions, Honorable Speaker, we are desirous to create a third generation park where community livelihoods, the ecosystem, and wildlife are managed in a way that ensure posterity for generations to come. I am sure your legislation will, among other things, encompass such. One of the reasons that we believe that the current administration missed a step is that the exclusion of local community livelihoods in the management of Amboseli is inappropriate because 80% of our wildlife are outside the park, supported by our communities. As I said before, our communities, in a recognition of the President's proclamation, graciously accepted to expand the park by giving additional land, 1 million acres, to support conservation. Honorable Speaker, just for members to know, the entry to Amboseli National Park then was in Namanga. That is where one of the gates was. The other gate was in Kimana, the turning point at the tarmac. That is where we used to call it Lemoronya Gate was. The other gate was in Samuli. It used to be called Game. And for those of you who understand this geography, that is where Amboseli Park was. But when the Maasai saw the injustice, they pushed the park inside from Namanga, 70 kilometers inside. I will not tell you the distance between Samuli and Pokawar to where now the boundary is here, barely 5 kilometers. Our people are gracious enough to say we will reconsider creating more roaming space for our wildlife once this natural heritage is given back to us. I have, Honorable Speaker, given that history so that we understand what is at stake, the dynamics involved, and the injustice that was committed against our people, and the pushback they themselves made to defend their grazing spaces. In fact, if today Amboseli is to be considered a national park and fenced off, as the law so requires, it will only be a water catchment area or a small wetland that is going to be fenced. And I'm sure that will not help in the conservation of our wildlife and their protection to boot. Honorable members, it is not just Amboseli, the Mau, the Chamus constituency, the lands for our small minorities in Nakuru, in Isiolo, in Kwale, in Taita Taveta we are concerned of. As your governors, and honored to be the chair of the Ma Economic Bloc and the spokesman for the Ma Nation, we are also very concerned at the state of economy of our people. On that breath, honorable members, Honorable Speaker, sorry to miss the step. I was telling Governor Lati and Governor Tutu I'm the only one who has not been a parliamentarian before. So if I miss some house protocols and procedures, Honorable Speaker, please bear with me. Honorable Speaker, we are also concerned at the state of economy of our people. And we recognize every community have their cash crops or their economy anchors. As your governors, with the support of our assemblies and parliamentarians and the leadership, which is broader than those of us elected or nominated, also want to deal with Bata's economy for our people. It is in recognition of that that we say our cash crops are our wildlife, our culture, and our livestock. We want to urge our assemblies to consider, through legislation, anchoring those sectors in law to support the strengthening of the economy for our people. We will also take our voices to the national government, of course also expecting our members of parliament to also consider legislation to support those sectors at the national level.